So Brad just came by and crack up because he was like, the guy was evil, man. We had to take him out. I was like, all right. So,
Yeah.
I'm all, we'll have to go out for a beer, man, because I don't agree. I was like, I mean, I agree that he was evil, but I was just like,
Yeah, you know who else was evil? Muammar Gaddafi
yes, and Assad.
and Saddam Hussein.
Yes.
Okay, are those people better off without him?
Yeah.
Yes, he's evil, but how is that the justification for launching a war against his country?
Yeah.
As if that's just magically going to make things better.
Yeah.
He's evil. If you remove him, the people will have democracy.
Brad goes,
As if democracy is some like wonderful thing that everyone should have. Mob rule.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of that dictator, then we'll have mob rule, and everything will be a-okay.
Brad goes, dude, you're like chucking gays off of rooftops. They don't let women drive. I'm like, I thought you said the guy was evil. Brad starts cracking up. He goes, Drawn whistle. That was good too.
Fair point. I was just listening to Glenn Greenwald. He was on Pierce Morgan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And he had this...
That's fucking... He's awesome.
Yeah. He had this moment where he asked this Israeli official about the stories that come out that the Israeli military headquarters is in a bunker underneath a building in the center of Tel Aviv.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The guy was like, yeah, that's true. Like, really? So, I mean, you guys are using the Israeli people as human shields, right? So if someone were to bomb that military facility and kill thousands of people, it would be Israel's fault.
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying? All those innocent people, because they are using them as human shields because you put your bunker underground in the center of Tel Aviv?
Where'd you guys get that idea?
In Israel, he made the point too. He's like, Israel has a lot of land. They could put that headquarters somewhere where it wasn't around civilians.
Yeah. In fact, according to the Bible, couldn't you put it in like Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Because isn't that yours technically?
Yeah, Eli was telling me last night that he said Trump is the biggest Trojan horse of all time.
Yeah.
I thought that was
pretty well said.
Very well said. And that's why
when you said it this morning, I was like, yeah, I never thought of it like that.
That's why he is such a bitch, because he came in, tricked everybody, people who didn't vote before, people that just live by themselves in a trailer on a mountainside.
Yeah.
Those people said, you know what? I don't vote. It's all bullshit. But this guy's saying exactly what I want to hear. Yeah. I'm going to get off my ass, ride my four-wheeler down into town, and I'm going to go vote for him.
Yep.
You and I fell for it. Hardcore libertarians fell for it.
Their parents fell for it.
And that's why it's so like infuriating. That's why I was so angry. It's like, because I'm kind of angry at myself.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking fell for it. A politician lied to me, and I thought he was telling the truth.
Yep.
I know better than that. And, you know, part of it, too, is like, I don't want to be so jaded.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So jaded and, like, just turned off to the possibility of hope that someone could come along and overturn the apple cart.
Yeah.
And be the guy that really, God, the words, I almost said drain the swamp, but I kind of started to throw up my mouth before the words came out.
It's a bit of a loaded term these days.
God, like, but, you know, so, but still, that person, I'm never going to trust that person again. It almost makes me think, like, there is no political way out of this. The only way out is through...
We're not going to vote our way out of this.
We are not.
The saying goes.
The only way out is through some huge cultural shift. And maybe that comes in the form of people actually rising up and taking back power in some way. You know, I don't want to say that that has to be through violence, but in some way, these people that have just finally that straw is in place on the camel's back, that's just too much. People say, that's it. I'm done. not paying my taxes.
Yeah.
I'm not sending my kids to government schools. I'm not obeying any government laws. I am not going to participate in this corrupt system anymore. And that's not voting. That's just saying no.
That's what we said, the real danger of the Epstein files. Because if enough people pay attention to this, and they're going to realize like there is no right or left, which means these elections don't matter, that we live into this corrupt uniparty. And it's like all it's going to take is the inertia to move just enough to go over that threshold where it creates almost like a mass formation of people just, I'm not buying into this system at all anymore. And once they realize, like, the only way that this system is working is that people believe in the facade, or, you know, with the wizard behind the curtain and everything. It's like they buy into this complete shell game, and that's what it is. And it's none of it's actually real. And once enough people like kind of realize that, that's the danger of this whole thing like falling apart. Because we've been saying like this is just pro wrestling, and it's such a reminder. It's like during Biden, you know, I spent 4 years just thinking about how much I hate the left. And it's like, now here we are a year and a half or whatever, and Trump, I'm like, and I hate the right because they're the same people.
If you believe that right and left
Even exists, yeah,
then it does exist for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe it exists, then it has no power over you,
Yeah.
and it does not exist. Do you think that people are going to shrug their shoulders over Epstein, or do you think that that is just the narrative that is being sold to us, that it's not going to matter? Because you and I say that a lot, like nothing ever happens, no one's gonna, you know,
or we modified it. Something happens, but then nothing happens.
Yeah,
it's like you get a chunk of the Epstein files. You're like, this is some of the most insane shit ever. And the reaction is it's still the same. It's as if they never came out. Everyone goes like,
is it though?
Well, what are you going to do?
Is it? Or do
no, I think
care
more and more people
actually...
are caring. But as far as the general kind of consensus,
it seems like no one cares, because the only way that you know if people care is by having a face-to-face conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
If you get that impression from social media or mainstream media or podcasts,
yeah,
then that could just be a manufactured.
Well, these are the conversations I've had. It's like the people that did care about this stuff have been validated, because we were laughed at 5 years ago for even talking about these things. But still the reaction, I'm like, so remember you were kind of making fun of me for talking about this 5 or 6 years ago, and like, turned out to all be true. Now their reaction is, yeah, it's crazy. That's it. You're just moving on after that.
Are they?
Well, a lot of people I talk to, those are typically the people that get all their information from mainstream media.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably won't change.
But then I've had more and more people, like my parents, for example. You know, my mom's going like, "This is insane! I can't believe like more people are talking about this." It's like,
Well, but what she's saying is like, I can't believe I'm not hearing this like on the news and on news programs.
Yeah.
But people are talking about it.
Yeah.
I feel like people aren't going to let this go. I want to believe, that's my hope anyways. And
I don't think people are going to let it go.
That people are going to dwell on this, and we'll see. I mean, you can't even really trust elections anymore. Like, it's not going to show up in the midterms that all of the pedophiles get voted out of office because they rig every election.
Yes.
Right? So there's not 100%, but to a degree that you still might not notice that people are actually fed up with this stuff, but it doesn't show up in elections.
I think what's going to happen with our distrust in institutions is exactly what's happened with, we've looked at the metrics of the amount of people that are still reading New York Times, Washington Post, watching CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and their numbers are just dwindling, right? And you look at the amount of people that are watching Theo Vaughn and Tim Dillon and Joe Rogan, Glenn Greenwald, Dave Smith, Clint Russell, and their numbers are just going, they're just on this trajectory of millions and millions of new listeners, like constantly. It's the same kind of phenomenon that I think is going to happen with our distrust in institutions. It's like people are just not listening to you anymore. They're not buying what you're saying. No one's watching CNN. I mean, some sad boomers are, but people aren't watching CNN and going, oh, that's probably what happened. They're like, nah. Like,
you know who is watching it, though? People who dwell inside the Beltway
Yes.
around DC.
Yeah, I think
That's who those programs are for.
Yeah, they're like clinging. They're the 80s metal band like that has not become aware that I don't think people listen to this music anymore.
Yeah, but there's a built
Like Motley Crue, like we're still this huge rock band. I'm all, are you playing the state fair?
Imagine if only like billionaires and political elites, if they loved Motley Crue. Motley Crue would think they were still totally relevant, but it's really just this one small group of people that just fucking rock inside the Beltway.
My favorite thing right now is I've been listening to a lot of like neocons and just establishment kind of Republican people to see, because they're all in on this war with Iran, which have a message for my favorite
Armstrong and Getty. Just fucking call them.
Armstrong and Getty.
Call them out.
I've been listening for years. AM, just middle of the road conservative talk radio. Okay, stop calling yourselves libertarians. Like, you have to stop. Okay, you can't spend 10 minutes in near sexual glee about how we bombed the Ayatollahs and killed a bunch of innocent people, and then at the end wrap it up. And I say that as a libertarian. You're not libertarian. There's like 40 different flavors of libertarians. They argue more with each other than they do with communists and socialists and statists. They're all highly autistic and fucked up in the head. And there's so many different kinds of libertarians. There's one thing that holds them all together. That is the non-aggression principle. Bombing a school with 140 children in it, and you being excited about that and just saying, well, that's just the cost of war. Like, overall, this is a good thing. You're not a libertarian. You're not a paleo conservative libertarian. You're not a blue libertarian. You're not a Rothbard libertarian. You're not an anarcho-capitalist. You're none of those things. You are a neocon. You have the same foreign policy as Lindsey Graham, okay? Stop calling yourself that. I'm not in the business of policing other people's speech, but it's grammatically incorrect. Please stop saying that. Here's another something for some of our neocon friends, because I've gotten some of these texts. I don't need to hear the talking points about how the Ayatollahs were bad guys. Okay? I'm sure they were. I'm guessing they probably were. Let's just assume they were. There are bad guys. There are evil dictators running countries all over the world. There's a list of probably 1,000, several hundred countries being run by an evil dictator. Throw a dart at the map of Africa. You're going to hit a country being run by an evil dictator. I don't need to hear the talking points. Like, that's not a justification for bombing a country. Okay?
Well, and it's hypocritical because the United States government props up evil dictators left and right.
There's that.
I mean, look at Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
One of the most evil dictators there are.
Yeah.
Our best ally.
Yes.
Yeah, if we're in the business of going around bombing evil dictators,
yes,
like, we have a lot of allies that are on.
Well, they're hiding behind their population. I'm like, you still don't bomb them. If we have an active school shooter in the U.S., we don't drone strike the school.
Right. Like, they go kill those people that you're so.
Now, why you think that's abhorrent, but it's fine in this country? I think you need to really sit down in silence and really dissect what your moral compass is made of, because those two things are completely incongruent.
We installed an evil dictator in Iran.
Yes.
The Shah.
Yes.
Who tortured his people for decades.
Yes. The third thing I want to bring up is that for you armchair chicken hawks that are rushing to Twitter to share the IDF provided correction of the news, that bomb that hit the school, killing 148 girls between the ages of 7 and 12, saying there was a rocket from Hezbollah that had misfired. I don't care. I don't care who the rocket came from. I don't care if it came from Hezbollah or Israel or they shot it from the meeting of the Juggalos. It does not matter. The end result is the same, and that's over 100 dead school children that would still be alive today if this whole thing hadn't started. And that's what we talked about, like the cost of war. I was like, I'm like, I don't, even if it was from Hezbollah and it was an accident, it doesn't matter. All those kids would still be alive if we hadn't started this thing. So it just drives me, these people that just were so excited to share this article from the IDF, their report that it was a Hezbollah rocket. I'll even grant, let's just say that's true. Like, we don't know that, right? It's like the end result's still the same, though. and it's a bunch of dead children. That's why we're anti-war. Yep. One of the many reasons. I want to talk about endless wars.
Okay.
This is also goes out to my favorite conservative radio talk show hosts. Is they just specifically mocked. They went on their screed about how this is such a great thing that we're bombing Iran. Mm-hmm. And at the end, they're like, okay. And then for you libertarians, which now you're making fun of libertarians after claiming you were one, is that, yeah, you can go ahead and send us your emails about endless wars. We'll read them. And it was like kind of dismissive. And I realized like a kind of a distinction is they are mocking the people or saying, well, now we're just getting into another endless war. Now that's based on a track record of 20 years in Afghanistan, over a decade in Iraq, still have bases active in Yemen and Syria, just so they kind of are endless wars. But it reminded me of Catherine Austin Fitts when she's bringing up the digital prison and the AI stuff. And she goes, I'm not telling you guys what's coming. I'm telling you guys what's already here. Like this has already happened and we're in the middle of it. That's what I think these people that like to mock the idea that people always complaining about endless wars. I was like, no, we're not talking about this is the beginning of an endless war. It's like we've been in an endless war. When you look at the history of Iraq, they had a democratically elected leader. They had Mossadegh, who made the grave, terrible decision to come out and say that our oil belongs to Iran, not the U.S. and not the British, not the MI6, not CIA, not British Petroleum. And the U.S. and Britain goes, the fuck it does. And we overthrew Mossadegh. Mm-hmm. People like on the right that like to share those old pictures of like Iranians like on the beach in bikinis and miniskirts. Like this is what Iran used to be, just so you know. Yeah. Like this is why this is a good thing. Come on. Look at the date of those pictures. All those pictures were taken when Mossadegh was in power. The U.S. and Britain overthrew that guy. Iran was doing fine. They just made the mistake of like, hey, we're going to keep our natural resources. And so they threw him out and they put the Shah in. And the Shah basically was a puppet regime to run Iran as like a U.S.-backed military police state. Mm-hmm. And that's when all like the country like totally went south. Now, as I would hope any country would do, they decided to revolt. They're like, we're not having this. I would think any country would do that. If they did that, yeah. Hundreds of thousands of Iranians died during these revolts. And then all the way up until, I think like 76 or 79, then they finally overthrow the Shah, creates a power vacuum. And then just like with Syria, just like with Iraq, and just like an even worse regime takes power. And that's the Ayatollahs. And at that time, this is like now we're getting into like the clean break and all that stuff. Benjamin Netanyahu going all the way back to like 1986 starts saying Iran is weeks away from having a nuclear bomb. He's been saying that for over 3 decades.
Despite that being against the religion, according to the Ayatollahs of their religion.
They did not want a nuclear bomb.
On religious grounds.
Yeah, it goes against the tenets of Islam. We don't want a nuclear bomb. Yeah. But apparently Netanyahu, who's not even from Israel, and that's not even his name, and I don't think he's even Jewish, apparently had some better insight on what Iran wanted, and that was like a nuclear weapon. Now, since then, we levied sanctions, we've had assassinations, covert operations, been fucking with Iran since 1973, like slowly just making it as hard as possible for that country to even operate. And then we had like the Stuxnet program under Obama that blew up their centrifuges. We just straight up bombed their facilities, the first Trump. And then here we are actually just like bombing the entire country now. And it just, when you look at that history, it goes all the way back to like 1953 is when this all started with Allen Dulles and the CIA of like, that's when we overthrew Mossadegh. I was like, so that's, when we say endless war, I'm saying not starting today. It's not a prediction. Mm-hmm. It's Catherine Austin Fitts saying like, no, this has been going on since 53. Yeah. And now we just accelerated it and we're having a continuation of it. That's what we mean by an endless war. Just wanted to clarify that for those neocons out there that think I'm in the prediction business of talking about endless wars.
And it all boils down to rich, powerful elites wanting to dominate the entire globe.
And fuck kids.
And fuck kids while they're at it. You almost wish Iran did have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
Because this wouldn't be happening if they did. Yeah. And I think people might bristle at that because they think that, well, this is the globe's largest state sponsor of terror. If they had a nuclear weapon, they would use it on Israel. But I don't see any evidence for that.
Yeah.
Using a nuclear weapon is suicide, and they don't appear to be suicidal.
Yeah.
If they were suicidal, they would have tried to wipe out Israel a long time ago. Mm-hmm. In fact, when they got attacked back in June, they were very metered in their response.
Yes.
They deliberately retaliated without hurting anybody, without killing a single person. They just launched a bunch of missiles into the U.S. air base.
Yeah.
In a corner of it where there were no troops. And they gave the United States a warning that they were going to do that. Also, to Armstrong and Getty, I heard them say yesterday, they're like, well, the Trump administration, after bombing Iran, tried to, open the door for negotiation.
Please find somebody, literally anybody but me.
But their current something or other said, we will not negotiate with the United States, and put that statement out yesterday. Okay, again, I don't understand their strategy. You're not going to negotiate with the United States. You're attacking all the countries around you who have gone from neutral to, okay, well, now we got to fight you. So what are they hoping to do? I don't know.
Yeah, dummy. Why would they ever negotiate again with the United States after twice previously they were attacked during the negotiation window?
And by the way,
how weak would they look if they actually decided, we'll negotiate?
And also, not to mention, we had a formal negotiation in 2015, the JPCOA, that had everyone level heads, like won the day. Like, we're all going to calm down. We have this written agreement. I think it was done in Vienna. In 2018, Trump ripped that up. That was the beginning of where we're at now.
Right.
Yep.
He ripped it up because he had Obama derangement syndrome.
Also, Tom Armstrong and Getty is much like the people in Beltway think that, or mainstream media, that we're still buying their fucking bullshit, that we're watching this shell game, you know what I mean? And we still buy into this stuff. And more people every day are waking up that they're being fucking gamed, and they have been their entire life, which is a beautiful thing. That gives me hope and optimism. But they had said they're looking at a Reuters poll, and I think somewhere between 3 and 4 and 4 and 5 Americans are totally against this war of aggression with Iran.
Which we've known for a long time.
Yes.
Now, I saw some early polling yesterday. Reuters had out. I didn't even write it down because it was an online poll and it's early, and it just seemed so unlikely to be true. It had it overwhelmingly the United States, including Republicans, were against this. And I find that hard to believe, but.
Yeah, let's ask again tomorrow.
Anyone that pays attention knows that this is wildly unpopular.
Yes. And remember their response?
Yeah.
Like, this can't be right. We'll check it again tomorrow. I
don't get it. How could that possibly be right?
Yes. And my message to these people is like, you are going to find out you're on the wrong side of history on this one, because too many people have woken up. It's too much war fatigue. They realize that it doesn't matter who the president is. Could be Obama, could be Clinton, could be Trump. It doesn't matter. The same meat grinder just goes on and still continues. And more people on the left and the right are getting sick of it. And I'm going to enjoy watching you guys fucking chuckling, trying to backpedal your way out of statements that you're making today, because you're going to find out you were completely fucking wrong.